This is the Manly Peak in D2. This is a lockback design. And let me show you something really cool about lockbacks. With frame locks and liner locks, what's stopping the knife from going all the way back, right, from failure, is usually a pin located right here, right? Let me make sure I'm focused. Sorry guys, it's not focusing. Okay, so usually there's a pin right here, and that pin is usually 1/8 of an inch or bigger that prevents the knife from going all the way back. And sometimes if you flick your knife a lot, or there's some type of issue with the pin over time, it'll degrade and you might have a knife failure. But with a lockback, you have this entire steel assembly here that locks the knife in. Okay, now we're going to talk about my favorite thing about knives. It's the different attributes, like the different grinds and attributes on the actual blade itself. So the deployment will be this thumb hole here. It's kind of, I guess the word would be oblong or oval in shape. It's not quite a round circle. There's a little bit of a ramp here. There's no jimping. I would actually like some jimping here. The corners are rounded slightly, ever so slightly, so it's comfortable. A full flat grind, which I personally think is excellent in a EDC knife. Full flat grind. And I mentioned before, it has a distal taper all the way to the end. There's a feature that is often overlooked, and it's a sharpening choil. And you're going to ask, well, what's the importance of a sharpening choil? It's so that when your stones, I want to make sure I don't cut myself again. But when you're using your stones and you get to this very end here, if the choil wasn't there, your stone would be hitting, let's say it would hit this, right? Or there would be a transition between the grind, the knife edge, to the stock. So that will gradually like wear out your stone. So the sharpening choil gives you a nice edge all the way to the end. This D2 has like a tumbled finish here. Really nice. Another feature on this blade is this curve here. The importance of that is when you're cutting something, and as the knife is separating into two, let's say if it's a piece of wood or something, when it starts separating the wood into two, it'll push the material away from your hand, from your fingers. That's a nice little feature. Let's talk about the handle now. So this is textured G10 with stainless screws here. It's a really nice deep carry belt clip or pocket clip. And you can transfer it to the other side as well, left or right, but it's only a tip up. As I mentioned, the edges are chamfered. There is a recess in the G10 to allow you to access the opening, the hole, so you could open the blade. There is jimping right here to activate or to start the deployment. It has a very, very secure lock, as you can hear. Let me show you again. Listen to this. I don't know if you can hear it, but very secure. So the G10 is CNC milled you can see there are actually steel liners recessed inside. That gives you added durability. In terms of their grip, you're not going to see like a palm swell or anything. It's rather, you know, blocky, but they give you this bit of jimping here. I guess I don't know if it would be called jimping, but there's some. I guess it would be called jimping, but it's to lock down your finger. So that, combined with a little bit of the ramp here, does give you a secure grip. I wear medium to large sized gloves, and there's plenty of extra real estate in the back there for you guys with really big hands. Before I get into the details about the blade steel, the D2, I want to give you guys the technical specs. So overall, we have 8.66 inches overall length. When the blade is closed or the knife is closed, it's 4.96 inches. The blade thickness at its thickest, focus. I'm sorry guys, my hands are dirty. I've been doing a little workout here. At its thickest, it's 3 millimeters or 0.118 inches, and has a distal taper all the way to the end. So the blade length is 3.7 inches. The sharpening angle on these, the final bevel, it's 15 degrees on either side. And the weight is 4 ounces. Let me give you a look on this side. Four ounces. And the handle material is G10. And this is CNC milled G10. Really excellent work. It's chamfered a little bit here on the corners for comfort. So the steel is D2, and D2 is not technically a stainless steel, but has a fair bit of chromium. It has around 12%, I believe. So it has really good corrosion resistance. But the cool thing about this steel is that if you compare it to, let's say, a lot of the popular stainless steels out there that are found in stainless, or that are found in other folders, you have 8CR14 MOV, you have, what is it, AUS 8, you have 440C. When you compare this steel to those steels, this is just a lot more edge retention, a ton more. And you're not losing that much when it comes to corrosion resistance. So this is, in my personal opinion, it is a great steel for folders. I don't know if I would necessarily like it a lot in hard use, like choppers or whatnot, but when it comes to folders, I think this is quite an ideal steel. Also in with the neckers, I think D2 is an excellent choice for neckers. It's just that the edge retention is really, really good, and it does give you a fair bit of corrosion resistance. The only downside to D2, I would say, would be it's a little bit tougher to sharpen than some of those other stainless steels that you would see in folders. But like I said, it does give you really good edge retention. And it's kind of difficult to get a mirror polish on D2. Let me show you the blade alignment here. It's dead on center. There is no blade play left to right or up and down. That's another feature of most lockback designs, that there's very little blade play. There's definitely none up and down whatsoever. The lockback is a rather simple locking mechanism that is highly effective, very strong. You can deploy this one-handed, and you could also close it one-handed as well. But the blade does come super, super sharp. So be careful when you guys open and close this knife. There's the tightening pivot there. This knife comes from Bulgaria, and the cool thing about some of the Eastern, or not the Eastern, some of the European countries, is that they like to use different steels. When I'm familiar with a lot of Spyderco, and they use a lot of the 𝑎𝑠 8, steels like that. But when you go to Europe, they use different types of steel, which is really cool. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm not an expert on steels. I'm a rather simple guy. When it comes to fixed blades, I just like to keep it simple and use a 1095, just because I have a lot of experience sharpening 1095 and using it. The fit and finish of this knife is excellent. It's done really well. There is no issues. There's no any problems, any type of issues with the fit and finish. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to start closing down this, ending this review. If you're looking for a really good folder in D2, they can be kind of expensive. I would check this out if you're looking for D2. Some people might say the blade here would remind them of a Spyderco paramilitary or military because of the length here. I guess you would call this a leaf shape blade. I'm sorry the focus isn't working for me today. But it's a great EDC blade shape. Full flat grind. Really good edge retention. Those are the highlights of this blade here. The fit and finish is excellent. Very durable, or very strong locking mechanism. Okay guys, well that's going to be it for this review. I would highly recommend this blade if you're looking for a D2 blade as an EDC folder. Alright guys, that's it for this review. I'll see you guys in the next one.